Welcome back to our channel. Do you feel like everyone is moving ahead while you are being left behind? In today's story, Jake Anderson's life was changed by just one sentence from his father. You can move slowly in life, but never stop moving. This powerful motivational story will inspire you to keep going and never give up. Sometimes life feels unfair. You work hard, stay awake at night, and sacrifice everything, yet nothing seems to change. Meanwhile, other people appear to move ahead so quickly that you begin questioning yourself. Maybe I'm too late, maybe I'm not good enough, but the truth is, success doesn't belong to the fastest person. It belongs to the one who refuses to stop. This is the story of Jake Anderson, a young man who had nothing except a dream and the courage to keep going. Jake Anderson lived in New York City. He was just an ordinary guy with no rich family, no powerful connections, and no special advantages. But he had one thing, a dream. Jake wanted to build his own business one day. The problem was, dreaming is easy, but fighting for that dream every single day is hard. During the day, Jake worked at a gas station. At night, he tried to learn graphic design online. But after working long hours, his body felt exhausted. Sometimes he opened his laptop and fell asleep within minutes. His friends laughed at him. One of them once said, "You'll never make it doing this." Slowly, Jake started losing confidence in himself. One night, Jake sat alone on the rooftop of his apartment building. The city lights glowed around him while people everywhere chased success. Quietly, Jake thought to himself, maybe I'm falling behind. At that exact moment, his phone lit up. It was an old voice message from his father, who had passed away years ago. With shaking hands, Jake pressed play. Then he heard the familiar voice say, "You can move slowly in life, but never stop moving." Jake became silent. The sentence was simple, but that night, something inside him changed. The next morning, Jake decided to start over. He understood something important: life doesn't change overnight, but small steps every day can change everything. So he made a promise to himself. Every single day, just 1 hour for his dream. No excuses. No complaining. 1 day became 2 days. 2 days became 1 month. 1 month became 6 months. Slowly, his skills improved. Then one day, a small company offered him online design work. The money wasn't much, but it was his first real opportunity. Jake didn't waste it. He worked day and night. 2 years later, the same guy everyone once called a failure opened his own digital agency. Now he had employees working under him. One day, Jake ran into an old friend. The friend looked shocked and asked, "How did you do all this?" Jake smiled softly and replied, "I never stopped." But deep inside, Jake still remembered the old days. That tiny room. That old laptop. Those sleepless nights. There were times when his bank account was almost empty. Sometimes he skipped meals just to pay his internet bill because he knew no internet meant no dream. His friends slowly realized something important. Jake's success didn't happen suddenly. It was built on thousands of painful days. Quietly, the friend admitted, "To be honest, we thought you'd quit one day." Jake looked up at the night sky and smiled. "I wanted to quit many times," he said. "But one thing stopped me." "What was it?" his friend asked. Jake answered softly, "I never wanted to go back to my old life." At that moment, everything became silent. Because some people work for dreams, but some people fight just to survive. Jake belonged to the second group. That night, Jake stood outside his office building for a few seconds. The company logo shined brightly on the glass door. 2 years ago, nobody knew his name. Now people waited for the chance to work with him. But Jake knew this wasn't the end. Successful people never stop growing. As he walked inside the office, he noticed that some employees were still working late at night. Someone was fixing designs. Someone was answering client emails. Jake quietly watched them, and suddenly he remembered his own first day. No office. No team. Just an old laptop and a burning desire to change his life. Suddenly, his phone rang. "Hi, am I speaking with Jake Anderson?" "Yeah, speaking. We're calling from Brightwave Media. We've been following your work for a while, and we'd love to work with you on a major project." Jake froze for a moment. It was the biggest opportunity of his life. After the call ended, he slowly sat down in his chair. Old memories flashed through his mind, the nights he cried alone, the mornings he forced himself to keep going, and the people who said, "You can't do it." Jake walked toward the window and looked at the glowing city below. And finally, he understood something. Success never arrives suddenly. It comes quietly to the people who keep moving during the darkest moments. Over the next few months, Jake's company grew fast. New clients. New projects. New opportunities. But despite all the success, Jake never forgot where he came from. Every Friday night, he visited a small community center where he spoke to young people who felt lost in life. Some had failed. Some had no opportunities. Some had completely lost belief in themselves. Jake stood in front of them and shared his story. One day, a young boy asked him, "What's the biggest secret behind your success?" Jake stayed quiet for a moment before answering, "Every single day, I told myself, try one more day." The boy asked again, "What if I fail?" Jake smiled gently and replied, "Failing isn't the problem. Stopping is." The room became silent because deep down, everyone knew it was true. As years passed, Jake's company expanded across the country. The same guy who once dreamed alone in a tiny room had now become an inspiration to thousands. But even after all the success, Jake never changed his morning habit. Every sunrise, he walked alone through the streets of New York because those quiet mornings reminded him where he started. One morning, he received a message from his old friend. "Can we meet today?" A few hours later, they stood together on the same rooftop where Jake once felt hopeless. The same city. The same sky. But this time, there was no fear in Jake's eyes. His friend looked at him and said, "You know, I used to think success was all about money. But now I realize, real success is not losing yourself." Jake smiled softly. Then he replied, "People think I came very far. But honestly, I just never stopped. Life will test you. There will be lonely nights, painful failures, and moments where you feel completely lost. But remember this, success is not built in one day. It is built on the days when you were tired but kept going, when people doubted you but you still believed in yourself, and when life became hard but you refused to quit. So if you feel behind in life right now, don't compare yourself to others. Move at your own pace. Slowly if you must, but never stop.